That's good.
So we're working on shortening this dipstick, trying to figure this all out. So Mike has taken this thing apart, and on the end of it, when you take it apart, if you take the little washer out, I should have showed y'all before I got started, but you can figure it out on yours. Basically, there's a rivet through here with a washer on it, and if you yeah, it's like that. That's through there. So, did you cut that off or pry it off?
I just used a pair of pliers and crimped the end of it.
Oh, so you used a pair of pliers and then got that off. And then this little tiny pin right here goes through the second hole, and that acts as a stop for this piece. So the pin goes inside this T piece right here. So it goes over the end like that and stops, and then everything else stacks on top of that, the rubber and the end piece. So we were going to cut this and weld it. I seen another video of a guy that was doing an LS swap and creating a Shorty, and he cut it and welded it, and then Mike started looking at it. Of course, Mike's a genius tell, and was like, Mike was like, I think we can just take it apart and basically shorten it. Well, you have it put it back together so you can see where it falls?
Yeah. I need to see how far I need to cut it.
Because we messed up.
Well, I didn't think to measure it on that end.
So instead of cutting the metal dipstick itself and then re-welding it back and then taking a chance of melting all of this stuff.
Or the dipstick falling apart, your weld breaking or something.
Yeah, that's true.
You have a dipstick in your door pin.
And then to cut my tube, all I did was take a brake line tool cutter. If yours opens up big enough, mine did. And then I literally put it and just ran it around it. So this is what we started with, a brand new tube that I ordered. The Shorty dipsticks for these things, for these Turbo 400s, are like $100. I think you can get some for like 60 or 80, or no, not 60. I think it was like 80 to 100 cheaper ones, and I just wasn't having it. So we cut it right there. The problem with that was then that when I did the cutter, it kind of folded in some of the metal. So then all I did was take my step down bit and just run it around in there. So I couldn't go up over that next step because that's the same size as the tube. But I basically, you know, just took it and ran it around inside the edge like that on that level right there to get your inside smooth, where your rubber plug that seals your dipstick, this is a locking one, so that it will slip back down in there like that in a nice tight fit. What do you do, cut that with side cutters?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Mike's got his nail gun on his side. What size do you want?
I don't know.
This is 5/64.
Whatever size this thing is, it's got to fit. Yeah, it's bigger enough.
So it's going to be maybe 3/32.
Yeah, maybe. Here.
That's a little, that's two, that's...
Well, you tried one hole. This hole's bigger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's smaller.
Okay, so maybe the 5/64 is that hole. Yep. Which hole are you drilling right now?
Big one.
Just look at that. Now check out this nifty thing Mike's going to do.
Overlay it just like that.
Oh, yeah, and you put that drill bit in there.
I am. I'm getting there, Jimmy.
Man, dude, how did you learn all this? You definitely went to trade school.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Don't you need to just punch it, or are you going to use the drill bit to scar it?
I'm going to scar it.
Yeah, but then it might still walk. I think we should punch it.
I ain't going anywhere. I'll only do scar it, and then I'll take it off and punch it.
Actually, if you would lower that in there and leave that on there, then that would keep it from walking.
Well, my finger's going to do the same thing.
Your fingers ain't that strong.
No, but then now I got a mark.
But now it looks like it's off center. A little bit.
Ah.
So these little drill bits are not drilling. They do not like this really strong metal, so we're basically trying to punch the hole out with a punch and then take the drill bit that doesn't want to drill and just open it up. Basically use your punch to get your hole. Looks like you can see light through it now.
Hey!
There we go. So all you're doing is reduplicating your 2 holes that were in the end back on the new Shorty version, and now just cut it.
Yeah, just cut it.
Shouldn't it be cut about the same distance past that so that
Yeah,
piece
so
can walk?
that's
Oh,
what
you're
I
just
do.
guessing?
Yeah, I mean, does it need to be precise?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be precise or
pretty
not.
precisely where I need to cut it.
Okay. And you have to make the noise whenever you cut it.
Yeah, you got to go.
Yeah, if you don't make a noise, then... Oh, look, might even get fancy in doing the little...
Yeah, man.
You know, roll the edges. All right, now let's see if we can put it back together. Ed, how you feel about doing body filler?
We hate it.
What kind of trans fluid is this?
Watch your mouth. On YouTube, you can literally get a strike for using that T word right there.
Well, I use trans fluid.
Yeah, but you definitely cannot abbreviate.
What kind of transmission fluid this thing take, Bo?
It ain't.
Now I gotta get this thing back to there. Old fat fingers. I need a pair of needle nose pliers, Bo. Alright. Now, this piece goes on like that. And this rubber piece goes on like that. And this piece goes on randomly like that. And now I just got to put this piece on like these other parts. I'll water this hole out just a little bit. And get this pin to fit through. Like
There it goes.
so.
It's through.
Now we can put the handle on there. We'll get a handle on things. Line the hole up.
So even the universal dipsticks that you buy, like that universal one I bought that goes through there, it does not have the hashtags on the end of it to tell you the depth.
Really?
Yeah, it's just blank. So what you're supposed to do, if anybody don't know this, is if you're using one of the universal ones, you're supposed to take the pan off and physically like mark with a file or something the depth.
That sounds terrible. Alright, so now we're going to put this thing
So at least
on
this way
something hard.
we have the factory
Just hold the head like that.
hashtags. I was gonna hold the whole assembly.
That's fine. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this punch.
Are you gonna bust my fingers up?
No, I am not. Alright, hold it right there. And we're going to put it in the center and gently tap on it. And I don't know if that worked.
Probably gonna have to put a rivet through it. Do you feel confident?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep. Put her in the hole. Oh, your tube's a little, why do you want this?
I had it where it went in there.
Let's fix it some more.
So the problem is being that we had to cut it in the bend, it's not exactly round right there where I cut it at. Because we wanted to leave this piece and everything to try to make it closer to how it was factory, I guess, and not come down in here. Plus you don't have enough metal between here and here to drill your holes. So if you did make your cut below this, you'd have to weld them back together.
Need a little bit more working on it. That's all. Let's go find a round file.
All right, so welcome back to the channel. So it is Monday night, y'all. Opened a couple things, got in the mail, and we're gonna start taking apart, I think, the back of the car tonight. I did not order the drive shaft today. I'm definitely ordering it tomorrow. I wanted to double check my measurement that I had wrote down. We are going to add the new holes to the back Lexan, and then we're gonna probably pull, I think, the interior side panels out to take it to the shop with. And I'm gonna go ahead and take some of the metal, unscrew the metal from the back area where the back seat was, because we're about to be changing the 4-lane bars, or the 4-lane brackets. Thursday night, we're gonna change them. So I ordered the transmission fluid today from O'Reilly's, and it's supposed to be here Wednesday. So that sets me up for Thursday. I'm gonna get the car ready to come back off blocks, check to make sure everything's good to go, to get it back on the trailer, and get it out of here Thursday morning, I guess. And then Thursday night, I'm thinking we might go live for the first time on the channel for y'all. Eddie says that he may stay and hang out or may go home, shower, and come back. So I think me and Mike will get a jump on some things maybe. I'm sure I'll have a video premiering at 6 o'clock Thursday, and then maybe we'll jump on live, you know, somewhere after 6 o'clock. I don't know, maybe 7, maybe 6:30, as soon as the video goes off. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, but I figured we'd give everybody time to get in from work, eat, watch the normal video, settle in, and then maybe we'll go live. Eddie said that he's not against holding the phone and relaying some questions that y'all may have or anything from me or Mike, and maybe just hanging out and chatting. So we'll try to get some of the loud grinding and cutting work done first, and then that way hopefully we'll just be welding and stuff by the time we go live. But the plan is we have to pull the transmission, fix the mid plate, the holes, some of the bolts don't go through from the transmission to the motor because the mid plate needs to be drilled out a little bit more. We have to clearance the mid plate to plug in two sensors on the back of the motor that we've talked about before, and we have to, or we need to put a helicool in one of the bolt holes on the side of the transmission. I've already took care of some of the other issues. We need to put the torque converter in, install the torque converter, and set the gap on the torque converter. So the, you know, the thick, you put the shim in there and set the gap on the torque converter. So we have to do that on the transmission side. The transmission has to come out the car to do that, and it's going to be easier to do that on the lift and just support the motor from the bottom side while it's up on the lift than to fight with this thing on the floor again with just one person. So, and then on the rear end, we have to cut the old 4-link brackets out the car and then put the new ones in and build the new 4-link bars at a minimum to be able to get it back where it's rolling, obviously, and back to the house. We have to support some things while we're doing that. So I don't think we're going to pull the rear end out of the car. We might, but then I have to do probably a temporary panhard bar because I think I'm going to switch to wishbone, but not right now. I think we're just going to try to get the car up and running on a panhard bar still. So basically all I'm going to do tonight is just try to get some of this stuff set up. I don't know how much I'll do, but the goal is while I'm back here with the cut off wheel, cutting the 4-link brackets out, is I'm probably going to cut some more weight out of the car. That's I've got some things I kind of want to do, and I want to change out the interior quarter panels because as I've showed y'all, it's chipping from where I had painted it black because I had to use primer because it was so bad of shape. The interior panels were bad and they were green. But now that we have the parts Maverick out there, I'm thinking I can lay these on top of the parts one and cut them out there, hopefully, so that they fit the clear the tubs, or I might just not put interior panels back in the back, and I might just do either carbon or aluminum. Just kind of got to get in there and see, but I plan to put interior panels back in at the moment. So I want to get the back windshield out because you have to take the back window out to get the interior panels out. So ordered some T-handles for Zeus fasteners, restocked some nut certs. This was one that Eddie brought, spare thing for the Coyote. And then we got our 4-inch tube for the Procharged. Man, that thing's nice to be cutting up. I probably should have looked at some other freaking websites to see what I could have bought. But the plan is for that thing to go like that. And probably going to have some length cut off of it right here where my pinky's at, you know, so it can be moved more up to here. But then the plan is to do that, and then I guess if Jason has a spare piece of 4-inch, if not, I'll have to order something after he cuts this. Basically, I just need him to notch this so it fits down in there, and then this will come up, you know, through the hood a little bit. And then we ordered the trim ring for it. So there's the... That bad boy is big, dude. It said it was for a 4-inch. It said 4.5 inner diameter. It's kind of got a gap around it. But I guess that's what... I guess it's supposed to be a little big for movement. So that's the trim ring we ordered. And then the other thing that you've seen is that me and Mike made the stubby transmission dipstick. So I'm gonna put this in tonight. All right, so got the back pulled back apart. Some of y'all, if you're OGs to the channel, you have seen in here before, and then if you're not OGs to the channel, you might not have never seen back here with all this taken apart. So we built all of this back here from scratch. Me and Mike, I basically built everything, tacked everything together, and then he had came over and welded everything up, finalized. So when I did all of this back here, we still had planned, at that time, I think I still had planned to run 6x9 speakers back here. This car evolved into a show car. Andrew actually just asked me what inspired me to basically build a drag car from scratch, and the answer is it started out as a show car. It was never supposed to be to this level. It just kind of got out of control, and it still is out of control. I advise you not to not to ever do anything like this. So yeah, that's what it looks like, but underneath all of its skin. So what I would like to do is, while we are working back here, we have to cut out this anti-roll bar. This is the bar that we went over a few videos back. I mapped, I went over everything that's wrong with this bar, and why it is getting moved and changed. So while I was in here, I basically have 3 bars, if you notice. So we have this bar, which the anti-roll bar is welded onto with some flat plate. Okay, I don't like that design. We're moving this anti-roll bar to the bottom down there, to the bottom of the foiling brackets. And then we have a bar back there that is a very stout bar, same size, for the shock mounts. So that is very stout up there. And then we have this bar that goes up and over, because I had thought that I needed to tie in the rear speaker deck. I thought that the rear speaker deck gave some structure, and I understand in a unibody car certain things do give structure, but now the more I have learned and the more I have figured things out, the more I realize that this is not super important at all. So I have 3 bars here, don't need all this weight. So right now I'm just figuring things out. I think I'm gonna drill all the spot welds out of this, possibly, because it does break up there. And either cut this bar right here so that this whole bar comes out, this whole rear piece comes out to drop a little weight, and leave this crossbar in and just cut the brackets off. Or I'm thinking I'll cut this bar out and this bar out, just leave that bar, and if I need to put something back here, maybe put a small bar between here. I kind of need to talk to Mike. This thing is stout. I mean, this is 2x4 square tubing, or 2x3, whatever it is, square tubing. So it's not, I don't really see you having any flex in here at all, man. This thing is freaking stout, but I just don't think we need all 3 of these bars right here on top of each other. I think that's a little overkill and a little unneeded weight. I feel like I could get 10 to 20 pounds out of the back here. So I might take a little structure out underneath the quarter windows while I'm in here at the shop after we get stuff done. But I think tonight I'm going to attempt to see how easy it is here at home without making a ton of noise to drill these spot welds out of this rear speaker deck and get rid of it, because I don't want this rear speaker deck in here no more. So your metal breaks right here, so you got some spot welds here, and then you got spot welds all up along here, and then some spot welds that run down the front, and then your rear speaker deck out. I had cut this at one point, I don't even remember what for. I have no clue now. Oh, because we had bent this down, because originally this bar was going to go through the rear speaker deck, and then I decided to put it down there, not up through here, not up so tight to the windshield. So, because I'm not a huge fan for things being super tight, believe it or not. A lot of people are, but one thing that I like, the most about my car is that when you look in the front, you can see the cage. I really do like that. So I feel like you put all this money and time into a cage, it's nice to see it. I feel like it gives it a tough look, but that's just me. So I don't care about hiding bars, just like the side windows. I like being able to see the bars. But yeah, I'm gonna mess with this afternoon. Try to just do a little bit here so that we don't have tons to do. I'm in the AC here, whereas at the shop I'm not in the AC, but I can make a lot more noise at the shop and work a lot faster at the shop. So I think I'm also going to cut out the seat frame right here. So all of this 1x1 square tubing or whatever was originally where the seat pan goes, but now I'm pretty sure we're moving 4-link brackets way up higher. So I can either leave that structure in just for ease, or I can just go ahead and cut it all out. So I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do when I'm back here, and then I'll probably whatever I put back in here will probably be aluminum, because it is the cheapest. I don't want to go titanium because it's just more expensive, but probably aluminum if I need to box anything in. And I guess not a carbon sheet. Probably won't do no more carbon work, even though all of this is, you know, carbon back here. This is all legit carbon work that was back here on the, you know, bottom of the seat. You know, these side panels are aluminum, as you can see over there. You can see the aluminum, but all the face is carbon sheeted. But I think whenever I put it back, I just don't have the money right now to be running a full sheet of carbon back here. So we'll probably just go with some real thin aluminum. So my burn down tubes, you know, they did pass through this piece of aluminum that was in the back. So I got to cut them out of that because I don't feel like taking the tubes apart. So I'd rather just cut the metal probably and change all that up. So that's all I'm doing right now. It's just kind of figuring out what I want to do so that it's all figured out at the house and I can do what I need to do here at the house. There's less to do at the shop. All right, so there we are for tonight. It's a pretty decent start. So got the rear speaker deck cut out. I plan to, when it's at the shop, take the flat wheel and clean this little lip up a little. I got a little tab thing I gotta cut off, I think. Got the crossbar right there cut out of it. So started to cut this hoop bar, but I don't have a long saw blade here at the house, and the way it is, the location it's in, I really need to come right here and cut through it. It's going to be a little bit tight, either that or some couple of big cut-off wheels, probably slicing in half. That way we can bend and break it out. Thank God I did not ever weld it to this one, because I was going to weld this to this one. Thank God I did not do that. So I talked to Mike this afternoon. He thinks that bar back there is plenty, that we won't have no issues in here. But like he said, if we do for some reason, we could put a spreader in here. But I think Mike is right, and I don't think we'll have no issues. I was curious if we should put a bar from there up, you know, like at the same angle to tie into this, to just give that a triangulated piece right there. The only thing I was worried about is like this, but I don't think it's gonna have any play like that, honestly. So I went ahead and cut out the piece that was right here, the carbon panels and the crossbar. This one's gonna be a little bit harder, not too bad. I just need to run a saw blade through here, and then technically get a cut up here if I can, but if I can't, I can just cut it here at the same angle and just leave this little stub there. So I don't know what I want to do with that, because I'm the one that put that bar in, and I know that's welded all the way around all four sides, so it probably won't be the easiest to get out. But maybe I could take a cutoff wheel and get, you know, 3/4 of it cut out and then break the rest of it out. So we'll see. The 4-link brackets are getting moved way up, so you can see where they're at now. They're about right there. I predict that they're going to come all the way up to about here, because of how low the car is, to get the angles correct. That's my prediction. So we have the measurements that we need to get off of the bottom. And then, like I said, while it's at the shop, I might cut out these braces up here. They're pretty thin metal, so I might not. I might just leave them in there just for the heck of it, but I don't know. We'll see. So that's the start for tonight, and then I'm going to keep up with, I still got to cut that panel, maybe do that, what's tomorrow, Tuesday, maybe Tuesday night I'll clean up a little, or maybe I'll grab a saw blade and cut that out Tuesday. Started a scrap pile here of everything we cut out. So the anti-roll bar, this thing is freaking heavy, but you can see how thick it is. So it is for the anti-roll bar. Now that it's out in the car, you can see how that side looks good, the holes, but this side you can see where I wallered it out like a freaking moron. So that was my stupidity when I first started out, and this car wasn't supposed to be at the power level it's at. But we're going to use this bar. We're going to save this tube because I have the bushings that go in here. We're going to save this bar, and it might even get cut down. If it gets cut down, that's cool. We're going to, you know, cut whatever we need off of the ends, and then we're actually going to take it and go through here with another tube this way to sleeve it. So we're actually going to sleeve it, and then that way the bolt goes through a sleeve so it never wallers out. You know, and that's going to make that anti-roll bar extremely strong. So I don't know if we're going to move the anti-roll bar right now to the rear end, because we probably won't have time on this run at the shop. You'll probably need to get back to the house and get ready to get to wiring and headers. But, you know, by the time we get it back, we're going to be doing a anti-roll bar and a wishbone. Is going to be the other two things that are going to get added onto the rear end, but them can be done at a later piece. There's that crossbar that was for the seat. So it's pretty thick stuff. I'm going to make a pile of everything I cut out. Weigh it whenever we're done. I wanted to put the cars on scale before I started cutting all this out, but then I was like, nah. I was like, man, we'll just weigh what I cut out of the car, you know, just to kind of see what I took out. And then once we get it back, we'll be putting the fluids in it. Actually, the fluids might go in it before it goes to the shop, but once the fluids are in it that we are going to go ahead and put in it, we're going to be getting another weigh on it here soon. But like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will catch you on the next update. And like I said, Thursday night we might be going live. So if y'all want to ask questions or chit chat, you know, make sure to look out for that, just in case. I can't make no promises. This stuff is noisy when you're doing all this and welding, but if Eddie's willing to hang out and help, then, you know, we might do it.